Hello, my name is Terry Durkin, and I serve as an academic advisor here at Marian for students in our allied health program. So at Marian, the allied health department consists of diagnostic medical sonography, radiologic technology, and exercise and sports science. So I'm looking forward to helping bring in a new group of students and welcoming them to Marian. I've been here at Marian working as an advisor for over 10 years, so I have a lot of experience working with students, and I've worked with many of them over the last many years. But easily one of my favorite parts about the job is helping new students kind of assist through that process of entering the university. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. Before we get started with program information, I thought I'd spend just a quick minute kind of giving you a little bit more information about kind of what my role will be here at Marian. So on the more technical side of things, it's my job to help you build up a class schedule, understand program requirements, university policy, those kinds of things. And so working through that together, kind of summarizing that one, it probably is a pretty big goal of yours to get to graduation. And so it's my job to help you make sure that we're on track for that. But beyond that, we can do a little bit more. And so, sometimes students will have questions that come up. Maybe they need a resource or a tool on campus. And so understanding what that is and how you would access and use that is important. Sometimes we need to talk a little bit about what's the right major choice for you. Sometimes that can shift, or we might want to add something to the mix. And so working through there. And so in those respects, kind of serving as a bit more of just kind of a general overall helpful guide to making sure that you've got everything you need here on campus. Okay, so as we look to dig in then a little bit deeper to the actual exercise and sports science major, I have lots of great stuff that I want to make sure to share with you. Our goal here in the exercise and sports science, or ESS, program is that we really want to prepare students for a wide variety of career and professional opportunities. And so in the most general way possible, that's really what we're aiming at here. As you can see listed on your screen here now, we have a variety, 5 total, of ESS learning outcomes. So these are the things that we're going to really aim to accomplish for all of our students. And so this is incorporated into our coursework, the experiential learning that we'll learn a little more about in a moment. All the different areas that you can experience will really work to help you make sure that you can accomplish this upon graduation. When we start to work with ESS majors, sometimes students know exactly what they want to do. The beauty of the ESS program is that it really provides you a broad approach to being able to work kind of in the general fields of health, wellness, exercise, and sports. But sometimes students are coming in with a really good idea on exactly what it is that they want to do. And sometimes we have some questions. And so we like to sort of break it down into these 2 questions that help us work towards answering some of the others. So the first question we like to ask is, who do you want to work with, right? So in that respect, we're looking at kind of 2 different areas. We could work individually or with groups. So it kind of breaks it down to the general population or athletes. So in that general population is that more one-on-one experience. And if that aligns more with your interests, then that's a great way to focus. Athletes then also are obviously a population that we see our students wanting to work with quite frequently. The second question then listed here is, what kind of work do you want to do? And in that respect, we also have 2 options. So if we think about therapy on the left-hand side, this is really where we're looking at someone who wants to work to help address a deficit, right? That you're working with a client and somebody who needs to kind of work to fix something. On the opposite end, then we have performance enhancement, excuse me. So in here, you want to kind of help your client take their health or performance to the next level. So kind of help them ramp their game up. Many of the career paths that we'll see in here have some potential for overlap, but we like to highlight just a few to kind of show how these different quadrants can work out. So if you're interested in kind of working with that general population on the performance enhancement side, you might see things like personal training, wellness coaching, diet, and nutrition. These are the kinds of areas that would allow you the opportunity to do that. Across the top on the other side, working still with general population, but more on the therapy side, this is where we start to see our therapy folks, like physical therapy, occupational therapy, those types of things. Down in the bottom left, if you're interested still on that therapy side, but now working more with that athletic population, this is where we start to see lots of our athletic training folks and those people who want to address kind of that therapeutic approach, but with the athletics group. And then the final quadrant here left, working with athletes, but on the performance enhancement side, these are your strength and conditioning coaches, the actual athletic coaches of a team. Sports psychologists would often fall into this realm, kind of enhancing in a different way. So it's another way to work on it. We'll note that in many cases, some of these career paths will require some additional schooling, but ESS would still be a great foundation to helping you do that. And in this respect, individualized approach to advising will be what allows us to really hone in and work on that and get started on that early if that's something that's of interest to you. Moving into talking about the curricular side of things, I thought I'd spend just a very brief minute giving you an overview of Gen Ed. Here our goal in Gen Ed, as is in most cases, to ensure that our students leave with a well-rounded education that really helps you be a problem solver. So in there, we have two components in our Gen Ed program. First are the common courses, many of which may show up as early as your first couple of semesters. These are the kinds of classes that everyone is taking at Marian, no matter what their major is. And then the second aspect of general education falls into what we call the areas of reasoning. And so what you see listed there on the screen are the 5 defined areas that we've come up with here as kind of the critical aspects that we want students to think through. And so there'll be some elective choices in these areas, and you and I can work through that to get together. Extending the conversation about curriculum and kind of programmatic highlights, I wanted to bring up just a few things here to show. I won't read all of them, but you'll note we have kind of different categories of things. So in the foundational courses, these are the things that help you really get prepared to be in this field. So we're talking about anatomy, physiology, medical terminology, those kinds of foundational skill sets. In the bottom left, you're seeing some of the major coursework. This is the stuff that every student pursuing the ESS major is going to take. So you're going to hit on these topic areas so that you're really well prepared in that well-rounded way. If we flip over to the right-hand column, then you'll see that I have a heading called elective coursework. And that's what I think one of the beauties of our program here is that it does provide that built right into the requirements of the major is the ability for you to really craft this major to fit your interest areas. And so you've got that good foundation and now you get to really focus up on other stuff. And included in there is some space to add in some courses for graduate school preparation if that's something that you're interested in. So we help make that really manageable by building it right in there. And then I also wanted to highlight in the bottom right corner that we do have a very flexible approach to our learning, and also with that emphasis on the experiential piece. So there are student-centered learning objectives, goals built into the classes that are governed by the students and their interest areas. You've got a foundation to work in a lot of different areas, but also an opportunity to refine that and really hit your interest areas. And one of the big ways we'll do that is with a required internship. Now we help you coordinate that, so it's nothing you have to think you are completely responsible for, but you'll have over 150 hours of hands-on experience. And we know that'll come up more like senior year, and it'll allow you that platform to really get that experience can be aligned with your career and professional goals. So you have the opportunity to really hit that hard. So we look forward to explaining more detail, kind of looking at how this really will work out for you. And don't ever hesitate to reach out with any questions.